All right, folks. Um, so pretty much everybody on the call already tonight pretty much understands stop loss and pip counting. Do we need to kind of go over that, or do you want to just move into the chart session because we got a lot of experienced traders already here, or do you really need us to cover sort of stop losses and stuff like that? We need to cover it. Okay. Robert, get out of here. You don't need to cover stop loss. Robert, 27 years trading, talking about he need to cover stop loss. Get out of here. All right. So all right, we'll go over it a little bit tonight. Just because I know a lot of you guys are actually doing challenges, right? Or starting a challenge process and in order to get funded. So you really need to understand this aspect of it. And then we'll go ahead and move into the chart. So one of the things when we had that prop trader and colors event that we did over the weekend is, hold on one second, let wifey boo in. One of the things is that one of the things Jennifer didn't touch on was a lot of the brokers, when you do the challenge account, you literally have to have a stop loss in place or they'll cancel the trade out. So all of you guys who trade with I'm just gonna wait until my stop loss, goes into profit and then I'm gonna put my stop loss, you'll get kicked out of the trade right away. And if you violate it too many times, they'll just end your challenge account, right? So the idea behind having a stop loss is really important. And then also understanding how to risk so that you only are risking 1% of your account or whatever it is you choose to do, right? Is really important for those challenges. And basically what that's telling you, right, is if you're going to trade for a prop trading firm, some of them are more reputable than others. But basically what that's saying is if you're going to be a professional trader, then you need to trade with a stop loss. Otherwise, you're not a pro at this. Basically, if you're just eyeballing it and saying, well, like think of it this way, we changed the BM and the SM, right? And we actually put the BM and the SM for a 10 pip profit. If you guys are loving that so far, go ahead and throw some 111s in the chat. Like if that's helping y'all hit some TPs and get some profits, put some 111s in the chat, right? So imagine, I want y'all to think about this because this is literally how I was taught when I first got started, right? My mentor at the time, a great guy, successful trader, but let's just say he had a much bigger pocketbook to work with, right? He had a lot more cash to throw at this thing than I did when I started, right? The first time I showed up to his almost 6,000 square foot house when we did a home event, we went into his home theater and 55 people were in his home theater. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was his house, right? So if he lost a couple $100, if he lost $1,000, no big deal, right? I mean, he didn't like it, but right. But for me, if I lost $1,000 at the time, that was it, right? So, but he didn't trade without a stop loss. And so that's how I started the process of trading, right? And then, early on when I would listen to the incredible Dr. Kathy Kirkland, and then she by that time was also a 7-figure trader, and she would say stuff like scared money don't make money and stuff like that, right? And phenomenal trader. But I finally figured out I couldn't trade that way after I'd blown enough accounts. So think about it this way. If your TP was 10 pips, does it make any sense to go 150 pips negative in order to come back and hit 10 pips? Like it's just not even a logical thing, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to be so negative and you sitting there staring at it, praying over it, throwing holy water at the screen, just like, please, Lord, please, I know you're not gonna go back. And then you do dumb stuff like see that it's way overbought on the RSI. If anything over 70 is overbought, this thing is at like 92. You're like, it's gonna turn around. So you enter another trade, but then it stays at 92 for like 4 more days before it finally comes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we've all had this experience, right? And then now you got 2 trades that are super negative and you like, oh my Lord, what's gonna happen, right? So understand that's not a way to trade, right? Understanding stop loss, it's better to get knocked out of the trade early so that you can reevaluate and so that you can come back into the trade and make up all the profits, right? So let's kind of just go over it again. We're going to use my FX book, but what we really need to do is probably a pip counting class. I'm starting to realize that a lot of you guys still don't know how to count pips, right? Whether it's a JPY pair or whether it's one of the other pairs, a lot of times people are really struggling counting pips, all right? And so we'll schedule that sometime soon, but for now, we can use some software, okay? I've gotten to the point where I can pretty much count them in my head, right? For most of the pairs. Some of them I'm still a little off. Like silver still confuses me for some reason, right? But a lot of the pairs I can count, and I don't trade silver, so it's kind of helpful that I don't trade it, right? So a lot of the pairs, right, I can just do it really fast. And I think one of the things that you guys can do that would really help yourself out is, y'all remember when we were in school and they gave us those, like, we called them ditto sheets. That's how old I am, where they did the little thing and it came and it was like little math homework, 4 + 4, and then it had a little equal sign. You had to go home and you filled out that little copy of a sheet of paper that they gave you and you brought it back to your teacher. Y'all should make those types of things for yourself. Count pips, and if you want to, if you made up a couple different ones and sent them to me, you don't know how to count. If you wanted to, I'll check them for you and make sure that they're right, so that you guys can start to get the idea of the pip counts. But here's the thing. Before I bore my niece to death, we're gonna start trading in a second. Don't worry. All right. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go to my FX book. This is the site that you guys need to go to every time you're trading the regular currency pairs. Okay. And this will just help you out. The great thing that we're doing is we're doing pending orders, right? We're doing pending orders, which means, right, is that you're going to put the trade in before it activates. So market execution is harder, right? Because I press the button right then, the trade activates, right? So I need to be able to calculate my stop loss relatively quickly, modify my trade, etc. With a pending order, oftentimes we're putting in pending orders that might activate 5 hours later, right? A day later. So you have plenty of time to calculate out your stop loss, okay? So let's just use this right here. This is our site. I want you guys to use it. It should be your friend, MyFXBook position size calculators. Let's show you how to get to it, okay? So if you went to MyFXBook, you're going to go here to Forex calculators, and you're just going to come down to position size calculator. It's that simple, right? So myfxbook.com, go to Forex calculators, come down to position size calculator, okay? Okay, so here's what happens. It's so simple. We're just going to put our account size in. So whatever your account is that you're working with, you got $300 account, you're going to put that in there, okay? You got a $3,000 account, you're going to put that in there, whatever it is, all right? And then you're going to tell them what you want to risk. I want to risk 1%, okay? And now you're going to put your stop loss in pips, okay? So if we were, remember we talked about on the last session, we talked about we really need some separation of accounts, right? You need sort of that BM SM account, right? And then you need one where if you're going to take the full BM SM, if you're going to take the triangle offense, if you're going to take the swing trades that come off of colors, you need another account. And then remember we told you about your little greedy heart account. You can do whatever you want with that, right? Your greed account, okay? But right now, if you're just looking at these swing trades or whatever, you're going to put whatever the stop loss is. So if the stop loss was 78 pips, right? You're just going to hit calculate, right? And then it's going to tell you what your lot size should be, okay? It's going to tell you what your lot size right here at the bottom. It says that means if you're doing 1% of $3,000, the most you could lose is $30. So you have to do a 0.04 lot size. It gives you the answer right there. It's a cheat sheet. So you guys can use this when we're structuring a pending order to make sure that you guys are always doing the right thing. Does this make sense?
Can I ask a question?
Please feel free. Go ahead.
You put here the stop loss as 78 pips. How did you determine that amount?
Okay, let's do that. We'll go through that. I'm gonna go through that. That's perfect. And what's the next question?
That's it.
Okay, we'll go through that. Okay, good question, by the way. All right. So that's actually relatively easy to answer. Let's just use it for the BM and SM one, because those are the most trades that we're taking, and then we can show you the other ones too. But for the BM and the SM, let me just show you how quickly to do that, okay? Before I do that, let me also show you guys, for those of you who are kind of new to the Academy, I just want to run through real quick. IM.center, okay? IM.center is where we're going to find all of the color stuff, okay? So if you're new to the Academy, this is your first time, or you haven't been in a while, and you're like, yo, how do I get to this stuff? This is where you're going to find it, right? So when you go to im.academy, that's where like your bursar's office. If you think back to college where you went to pay your bill, that's all that is. IM Center is the actual university, right? So we're going to come in here, and then if you want, right, you're going to go here to go live, okay? So go live is going to be where the education piece for colors is, all right? The rest of the academies, right, are whatever academy you signed up with. So let's just do that real quick. So if you signed up for DCX, you have the whole DCX Academy. If you signed up for FRX, you have the FRX Academy. If you have the time-based trading, which is options trading, you signed up there, you can go there, and that's where your academy education is going to be. But what we're doing right now is off of color. So we're going to go to go live in that back office. So Marcus, this should help you out as well. Just coming back, right? And then you're just going to scroll down. Now, if you're part of whatever academy you were a part of, you can go to the go live sections, okay? Little hint, the DCX Academy also has access to a lot of the FRX educators. Little hint, so you kind of get two academies for one, all right? But then when we scroll down here, then you're going to go to colors, and that's where your go live is, all right? So now when we're here, you have Doc Spills. And one thing you should know about Doc Spills is that they have a variety of different educators. So it's not just him, okay? To me, he is the best teacher. And then the second best teacher is Alex, this guy here, okay? So you can see him usually, if he's on, you definitely want to catch it, or if Alex is on, those two are the best teachers of the color strategy out of all the different educators, in my opinion. All right, and then we have our favorited sessions. You guys definitely want to go through those, okay? So there's the recorded sessions. So a little difference for those of you who are coming back to IM and from previously being here is that it used to be that they had every recording up there in perpetuity. They don't have that anymore. So they only have the last 12, okay? The last 12, which is, they probably needed to save space because they had over 1 million hours on their servers, right? That's a lot to handle, right? And then also for compliance, they had to get rid of a lot of the old videos, right? Because a lot of them were out of compliance. So for those of you who don't know, our compliance officer, one of the people that heads that division for us, actually, I believe sits on the board of the Fed, and there's a couple different things, right? Like she's up there, right? Security and Exchange Board, like she's crazy, like what she does. So when she's coming in, she's making sure that we're all going to be good, all right? And so they cleaned up a lot of that stuff. All right. Now, let's go back real quick. And then I'll just show you one other thing. And the last piece, and I know some of you guys are like, come on, man, we should be able to do this, but we got a lot of people that are popping in and out, right? Here we go, strategies. So if you go to strategies, this is where you're going to actually be able to pull up these colors charts. All right. So when you scroll down, you would just click on colors. Okay. If you have colors, you click on it, and then boom, it'll pull up all of these different charts. And then also, if you're part of the DCX Academy, you'll also have access to SwipeCoin. All right. And that's the app. You can pull that up on your phone, or as you can see, you can pull it up on your browser. And when you go there, then all you're going to do is go to strategies and activate colors, and then you'll have it. Okay. So everybody, we've knocked that out. All right. And now let's go back to our stop loss and our position size calculator. Okay. So we have all of this stuff. So I just want you guys to see how to put it in for your pairs. Okay. Your currency pair, you list it, your account size, and what you're going to risk. So if you're going to risk 2%, 3%, if you're going to run 0.5%, whatever it is, put it there. Put your total stop loss, and then calculate, and it'll tell you what to trade. Okay, this is very, very important. Now, here's I want to give you a tip. When you're trading these challenge accounts, okay, when you, especially depending on the account, Like the challenge I'm taking is very strict. You can only lose 5%. Okay. All right. So if I lose 1%, I've already lost 20% of what I can lose. If I go back the next day and I lost another 1%, now I'm almost halfway lost in the challenge, right? So what does that mean? When I lose a 1% trade, I don't go re-enter another 1%. I'm going to use a smaller lot size, right? I'm going to say half a percentage, right? Or maybe 0.25%. And I'm going to put 3 or 4 trades, get myself back up to the 1%. And once I've made my ground back up, now I'll go back with a full 1% lot size, right? So you guys have to be able to think about what this process is, okay? Think about how, like, if you were just getting micro lot sizes every single day, it's a lot of money. It adds up, right? And so it's okay to do that because most of these challenges, you have to trade for a length of time anyway. So even if you knocked out 10% on the first day, guess what you have to do? You still have to take another trade for the next 5 to 10 days, depending on what the challenge is, right? Before you can even move to the next phase. So it's really important to understand how to mitigate these losses and change these lot size to help you out. This site will do that for you, all right? So let's go real quick and let's talk about how we can calculate the pips, okay? All right. And then we'll get into some actual trading, all right? So as we see here, we had a BM right here. Everybody see the BM, right? We're all on the same page. BM right here, boom, and right there, right? Okay, so since we have that BM, how do we calculate the pips? Well, the first thing, someone tell me what's the first thing that you're supposed to do when you see a BM or SM? What's the first thing?
Box it up.
Box it in.
Box it in. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to box it in. So I box from the wick to wick, right? Wick to wick, and I box it up. Okay, now if you want to know what the stop loss is going to be, all you have to do then is take your ruler and measure that box. So in that case, it's 19 pips. Okay, that's it. So now you know what your stop loss is. Why? Because remember, in this strategy, what are we doing? We're doing a measured move, right? We're doing a measured move. So if this was a BM, right, we're going to put our entry point for our pending order is going to be at the top. Our stop loss is now going to be at the bottom, right? And then our take profit would have been up here, except we've changed our strategy so that we have a higher chance of hitting TP on all these by what? Instead of the 19 pips, we're actually going to take a 10 pip take profit, okay? Now, if you're going to go ahead and go for the full swing, that's up for you. But I'm telling you right now, having back tested this out, we're going to hit a lot of TPs, okay? And a lot of TPs, and what it's going to allow you guys to do is on those larger entries, when we're coming off, say, the daily BM is going to have 150 or 200 pip stop loss, which is going to mean that you're going to have a very difficult time having a larger lot size, right? But if we shrink down our stop loss, right, but use the same entry, we can actually then use a higher lot size. And from when we back tested it and when we tested it, almost all of them hit 10 pips, okay? Almost all of them hit 10 pips. So that's going to be a much better thing for you to be able to grow your accounts, all right? Potentially, all right? So that's how you're going to calculate it. Real simple. Just measure it, and that's your stop loss. Now, if we were on the daily, let's move to the daily, and let's see if we can identify a BM or SM. All right. We've got a lot of good activity. What do we talk about? The dollar being really high. We talked about it the other day. That SM was super small. You guys see that? That was crazy. All right, let's see if we can find one. For those of you who are experienced, if you want to jump ahead, here we go. Here's an SM, right? Here's an SM. This was July 15th, okay? So if we look at this SM that stop loss is considerably more, right? It's 125 pips because it's coming off the daily, right? So imagine if we had a 20 pip stop loss with 100 versus 125 pip stop loss. Let's go look at it. Let's look at USD CAD on our position size calculator. USD CAD, right? And let's say our stop loss was 125 pips. Right? That's a 0.03 lot size. You see that? But what if our stop loss was only 25 pips? 15-cent lot size, right? It's a big difference in how much money you make. You see what I'm saying? So we want to be able to take that into consideration. Now, the one thing that you also should take into consideration is that if the BM did move the entire length of the 125 pips, well, even that 3 cents is going to be very profitable, right? So that's why we talked about multiple accounts, because a lot of times if you get wicked in, even on the wick, because we're coming off the daily, you're going to hit TP off of the BM or the SM, okay? TP being 10 pips. If you move to the other account, then you have to pay attention, because it might move 60 pips in profit and pull all the way back and go straight to stop loss. So you're gonna have to pay much closer attention to what's going on, all right? Either way, you could get knocked out in profit, etc. And that's the goal for us, guys, is to get knocked out in profit more often than not. I don't care if you're just catching 3 pips, 4 pips, 5 pips. I want you getting knocked out in profit and not actually losing money, all right? That's the goal. Okay, all right. Everybody good? Did that make sense? Carrie, did that answer your question on how to measure it?
That was a light bulb moment.
Aha, there we go. I love it. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and take this up. Boom. Now let's go ahead and see what we can see. All right, now we're gonna actually look at trades. All right, all right. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna look at our setup. So first thing we're gonna do, of course, is we're gonna look at the master ideas that have come out since we last had our session, right? Which was what, 2 days ago? So our master ideas, we have an NZD JPY. This came out. Let's see if it's already hit. So it looks like it came close to activating. It actually did activate, and this probably has gone the wrong way and hit stop loss on this particular trade. However, yeah, it's definitely gone the opposite way of where they thought it would go. So that's okay. All right. We have another one here that activated. That was from July 18th, 19th. And that one has only gone partially into profit. Okay. So if it went into profit, I'm sure it went a few pips in profit. You could have got your stop loss in profit. Okay. So those are the only ones that are recent on the master ideas. Okay. We still have our CAD JPY one that's still viable. All right. Everything else is gone. All right. So let's go ahead and look at our stuff. So we're looking at the daily. We have an SM here. This SM has activated. All right. So there's no point in taking that trade anymore. It's gone. However, let's go back here. Let's go back. Okay. SM price came very close to structure, this red box. All right. It didn't quite go into the box. We have a SM candle followed by a swing arrow, followed by a red triangle. All right. So this is going to give us the opportunity to take a different type of trade besides the SM. Your only concern right now is this level of structure right here. Okay. There's some structure that's running around right here. You're hoping that it's going to push through that. But here's what we're looking for. All right. On the larger time frame, we're now, what are we going to do? Joe, on the triangle offense, what do we do when we see that triangle? We got to go down here and box it in. Or not box it in, excuse me, mark it. Okay. So we're just going to mark the triangle. I want you to see how simple this is. Can you see the red triangle? Do you see the red arrow? So the red arrow, you see how price was going up? The red arrow suggests that now price is going to start going the opposite way. If it was a green arrow, it would mean that price was coming down and it's probably going to go up. Okay. Now, you see after the red arrow came what? A red triangle. All we do is mark a line. Does it look like it's red, red, red straight down? Red triangle, red here, red, red, red. Okay. So now all we do is you see each one of these things is a candlestick, right? And each candlestick represents one day in the market. Well, we don't want to go off the daily. We're going to go down to a smaller time frame, say like 30 minutes, all right? And now all we're going to do is look for a red triangle. So you see how, guys, we now marked down and we went to the 30-minute. We're looking for a red triangle. And once we found a red triangle, which was right here, we can now identify that. And now we're just looking after the red triangle for it to be red, red, red straight down. So you see on the red triangle, it was actually a yellow candle, a yellow candle, yellow candle, and now a red candle, okay? So this means this, simply this, all we're gonna do is we would have entered our trade right here as it's red, red, red straight down. And look at how that profit rolled out, guys. Was that not a nice trade setup today that we could have taken? Look at that, guys. Just like that. Easy. Okay. So that was a trade. Unfortunately, we missed that. But guess what? We haven't fully missed it because remember, our analysis was off of what? The daily, right? It was off of this daily, which means there could be some pullback and then another continuation. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is, as we're marking up the chart, we know that we have potential entries now on USD CAD. Okay. We're going to look at the 30-minute time frame. And what we're waiting for is the color combination. The color combination is simple. We've already been granted the red triangle. Okay. So in order us to have a confirmed downtrend, what has to happen? We have to have a pullback, correct? So what we're waiting for now is the green triangle to emerge. We're waiting for a green triangle to emerge, which is probably coming because you can see how price is flattening out right here. And you can see how the boxes have turned green here. We got some green here and we got some green here, which means it'll give us a slight pullback before we then get a red triangle for us to continue down. At that point, we can still look at another trade. So right now, are you guys with me? USD CAD is a trade that we need to have our eye on to activate. Everybody see that?
Yep.
All right. All right. Let's look at the peso.
Andre?
Yes.
You went straight from the day to the 30-minute after you found the triangle, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I sure did. By the way, guys, real quick, let's do this fast because we've been talking about what is the reason why, when we go back, what is the reason why on the daily, what is the reason why USD CAD is dropping? What's the reason? What's the reason? Remember, we already came across the dollar earlier, didn't we? And the dollar was what?
It's losing.
USD is weak.
It's getting weak, right? So that means CAD pair and anything against the dollar, more than likely right now, is dropping, right? Right? So more than likely it's going to drop, okay? In this case, NZD USD more than likely is going to be going up, right? So let's see what we got.
It is.
You guys see how this is not a hard game to play? Okay, so what do we have here? Again, we do not have a BM. I hope you guys are catching these chart markups now because we don't have a BM or SM, do we? But what do we have? We have price moving down in a downtrend, right? That has now come to a point where it met structure or came very close to structure, the green box. And now what do I have that happened? I have an engulfing candle, a swing arrow, and now a green triangle. So what am I going to do? I'm going to mark it, except this time it's going to be green, right? I'm now going to reduce my time frame, and I'm going to look for opportunities. Unfortunately, we missed our initial opportunity to get into the trade, right? So what do we look for? We're looking for what? The red triangle to come out, and then a green triangle to follow it to see if we can continue to take the trade, okay? Really simple. When we're looking for a buy, our color combo is green, red, green. When we're looking for a sell, it's red, green, red. You got it? Simple stuff. So right now, there's no point in getting in a trade, but look at how colors protected you. See how many times you would have been thinking to yourself, man, I should enter into this trade. But look at that full consolidation period, but there was no opportunity to take a trade. Why? Because you couldn't have had green, green, green lined up, could you? During that entire consolidation time, right? The only time you had an opportunity to take the trade was right around here, and then you still caught some pips as it moved up. But now it's in consolidation, which means what? Was there ever a reason to exit this trade yet? Not yet, okay? Now, when we go back to the daily, okay, for me, I'm still waiting to see this thing out, because what do I have? I've had a long confirmed downtrend, okay? A long confirmed downtrend. So there's a possibility that this thing could still blow through this area. Even though right now we have a swing arrow, this could disappear if price continues to push down, which is likely or possible, right? And then you look right here, this box has only been retested one time. So this is not a strong box. So there's a possibility that we could move down, all right? Let's look at NZD-CAD. NZD-CAD, do we have anything? I don't see anything right here. AUD-CAD. I don't like, we do have a swing arrow and we do have green, but we're nowhere near any structure box. So we're going to leave that one for now. We do have a level line. This will probably print structure if it hits it again, but not now. So structure, like you see the red box and the green box, right? So that just means that this is like a ceiling and then this is like a floor, right? So what happens if you throw a ball against the ceiling? It's gonna come right down. Why don't you bounce the ball on the floor? Okay, the only way it goes through is if the ball is heavier, right? Like if you had a bowling ball, it could go through the floor, right? Or through the ceiling. So that means that in these areas where there's structure, in order for it to break through, it has to take massive momentum, right? All right. So here's another trade setup, guys, that we need to focus on. Ready? We have here, we have hit a green box. We have a green triangle. A green swing arrow, and we also have what? A green triangle. Our green triangle is the first one that's printed. So we're going to go ahead and look at that, and we're going to reduce down to our 30-minute. And since we've had that opportunity, look at that. Right after that triangle came printed, we could have come in here and we could have taken this very first trade setup. Does everybody see how it's green, green, green straight down? You see that? Green candle, green line, green triangle, green, green all the way down, right? Could you have pressed the buy button? Simple, right? You see how it's lining up shapes and colors? This make it real easy, right? It ain't confusing at all. Right. So now you would have been in that trade and that was 23 pips, right? Not a big deal. Quick grab, okay? Quick grab. Let's go ahead and look at our next pair. Where were we at? AUD Chief. By the way, I'm gonna be here for a while, so if you want to tap out, you can. I won't feel bad. All right. So we had a BM. That BM is already gone. It's already blown through. We also have another box. I'm not going to take this triangle currently because this triangle is at what? Structure. It's already at structure. All right. So I don't want to take that particular triangle. All right. However, I am interested if I get some kind of SM or if I get some kind of red triangle, I would be interested in seeing if we could push back down. SM, BM. So again, we have a BM, it's already hit TP. And we are coming out of a box, but we do not have a green triangle yet on EURGBP. No structure box up here. But we are looking like we're about to have a cross on the daily. But look at this. You see this green forming and this green momentum? This could be a fake out. You see that? This could be a fake out. So again, we'll let that one go for now because there's so many other opportunities. Our BM has already hit take profit. All right, I believe we talked about this the other day. Okay, I believe we talked about this the other day. Is that we actually went into a structure box, a proven box, and we rejected off of this. And we also talked about it from the standpoint of setting buy limit or limit orders, sell limits, buy limits, etc. Right? But right here we had a swing arrow, an engulfing candle, and a red triangle. Now it looks like momentum has stalled here, but technically right now on the daily, we still have a sell. We're still selling, right? And so what you could do is you can look and reduce time frames and see what kind of opportunities present themselves. So this trade still has some viability. You need to be aware of what's going on. So if we were looking at a trade like this, these are going to end up being smaller trades, 20 pips, scalp pips until it breaks one way or the other, okay? But we should be looking for sells based on the fact that it's suggesting to us that we still are selling. And what do I mean by that? It looked like it was in consolidation on the daily, but look how many red triangles it gave you that are clearly selling. You guys see that? You guys see? It's clearly still selling, okay? So I want you guys to look for sells. So this is still a EURAUD. We still have a sell set up, all right? Until we get something else on the daily that is going to suggest something else, all right? Until we get something on the daily that's going to suggest something else. Now, it looks like this is becoming a strong area of structure where these level lines are. So you might even put a buy limit order. You might even put a buy limit order with a tight TP. I mean, excuse me, with a tight stop loss. That's a possibility along these level lines. You guys see that? You need me to identify it for you? These level lines. Those level lines right there are good for some limit orders right now, because look how many times we've hit this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times right here. So there is some structure here for a potential limit order. All right. I would put my TP, my stop loss slightly below. So for those of you who remember, this will be here is a limit's going to come down and go up. That's going to be called a buy limit. All right. A buy limit is what you do. And then I would be looking to put my my stop loss below these past wicks. I'd put it down here for a stop loss, right? And then I would set my TP on this limit order. Look at the structure to the top. This is probably where I'd set my TP just to keep it safe. A nice short little trade, all right? A nice short little trade. That's still 100 plus pips, all right? Do you guys see that? Talk to me. Talk back to me. Back to me. Talk to me. Come on. Y'all see it?
Looking good.
There we go.
Yeah, I see it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. EURJPY. EURJPY. Okay, so I want you guys to pay attention to what's happening. EURJPY. We see we've had a little bit of an uptrend for a while. This is all the way back. Our last swing arrow was all the way back in March. Okay, it swung up big time, right? But now we've got a swing arrow and a structure box that's printed here. Okay. So it went into our structure box, came out, came back in. We got a swing arrow, and now we got triangles. Okay. So our last triangle coming out of the box was this one right here. So we can mark this. We can mark this moment in time. And let me make sure I don't have any other arrows. So then now watch. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about the color combo. I had a red coming out of the box. It went down. Now it's pulled back, giving me a green, right? And what we're hoping for if we want to continue to sell is that it's going to do something like this. You see? So once it starts this process after the green, it will now give us a red. Will now give us a red triangle, and we'll be able to line up the colors and take a sell. So we're in the game on this one. We're in the game on this, right? You can look at a limit order right here on this line because it drew a level line for you. You could look at a limit order. This would be a sell limit. Sell limit here. TP would be this first one here, this first level line. The second level line is TP2. Your stop loss is at the top of the box. Stop loss, sell limit, sell right here. TP1 is right here. TP2. You guys see how easy it is? Or if you're scared of the limit orders, which some people don't like limit orders at all, pending orders at all, that's fine. You can wait for your red triangle to form and you can just line up the colors. Okay? Is this helping anybody?
Yeah, I'm slowly catching on.
Good.
Yep, I'm taking screenshots and writing down notes.
All right. All right. Again, what do I have? I have price. Watch this. I want you guys to see some stuff here. All right. I want you to see some stuff. How is colors helping us? How is colors setting us up for success? All right. So in this case, we're in this downward trend. It's massive downward trend. We're moving down. We now hit another box of structure. And what came out? A swing arrow. You see it? It's kind of hiding there, but it's there. All right. It's a swing arrow. There we go. We separated it out. A swing arrow. So if I was in that downtrend, what does the swing arrow tell me now? Is that not an indicator that I could exit the trade? Right? So it gave me an indicator that I exit the trade, but I have all of these things. Price hit our box, it's moved out, and now it gave me, watch this, a green, red, green combo, and then it gave me what? A red, green again combo, except I could not enter right here. Could I? Was I able to enter the trade there? Let's look. I'm gonna get my newest person right here. She's sitting right next to me. She's smart. She's trying not to be bored, but we're gonna get her anyway. Watch this. On that line right there, is it green, green, green all the way down, or is there other colors? Can we take that trade? No, because it's not green, 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 is it? Now watch this. What if we reduce down to the 30-minute? What do I need? I need a green triangle, don't I? Right? I need a green triangle. Let's see what happens. All the way back there. Is there a green triangle? Is this one green, green, green straight down? Let's mark it. Is this one green, green, green straight down? Or is there red in there? Can't take it, can we? What about right here? If it's green, green, green straight down, can we take it? It's green, green, green straight down, isn't it? Right? So we could have taken that trade. Guys, she's never looked at trading today and she just shook her head. This is her first time looking at trading and she could see green, green, green straight down. First move, 298 pips. Full move, if you caught it all, 462 pips in profit. Now what that means to you is if you traded 10 cents, you made $462. If you traded $1, you made $4,620. If you traded $10, you made $40,000, right? Okay, that's how that works, okay? So If you made a trade at a penny, you made $462. No, 400 pips, you make $46, right? Whatever. Point is, good money, okay? So there you go, simple trade, set up. Now what happened? We had a red candle. Was that our red triangle? Would that not have been an exit for you? Absolutely. You're not going to give back all those pips, are you guys? But then what happened? We had another green triangle came out, and then we were just waiting for it to line up, and boom, right there, we could have taken a trade and caught that last push up, okay? Along the way, we also had a line cross, and we had some other strategies that we could have used, but this is simple. US Tech. Ooh, that's good stuff. What do we have here? We had a downtrend. Watch this. We had a downtrend. The downtrend gave us what? When it hit structure, what did it give us? The first thing it gave us was a what? A BM. Guys, what is a BM what is BM for you? BM is also a directional bias and can be used as a price action exit. So when this downtrend formed and I had pushed down and I had taken all this money off of S&P 500, if you had been in the trade, the potential profits were there, right? When that BM came in, what would you have done? Exit the trade, right? Simple, okay? Now what happens? I have this structure here. It gave me another BM right here. If I would have boxed that in, I've already hit take profit. And now I have what? If I'm coming out of a green box, what am I looking for? A green triangle, right? So if I mark that green triangle, and then I went down to the 30-minute, I'm looking for another green triangle. And look at that entry, guys. Look at this. First off, there's a green triangle. Is it green, green, green? No. What about right here? Is it green, green, green? It's close, right? Let's see. It's green, green. There's red next to it, and there's red next to it, but it is green, green, green straight down. And there's your trade entry, guys, on S&P 500. How many of y'all could have taken that trade and been very, very happy? Very, very happy. Barely even moved. It didn't even look like it even moved into the negative. Look at that. Boom, straight into profit. Sheesh. Same thing here. This is US 30. US 30 did not give me a BM, but it gave me a swing arrow. It gave me a structure box. By the way, this structure box, if you would have just gone here, you could have drawn it out yourself. I did before it even drew the structure box on colors. I drew it out, noticing that that structure last time, it was November of 20. So right there, we had dropped a significant amount, hadn't we? I was expecting us to get a pullback off of this box, and we did. Okay, and we did. And so now, what did colors give me though? Colors gave me a green triangle. Off of the 30-minute, I'm waiting for what? Well, I'm waiting for my green triangle. I got my green triangle. I gotta wait. And right here was my entry. Right here. And
So I have a question.
boom. Go ahead.
We're looking at a lot of pairs and we're looking at time sensitive candles. Do you write down in a ledger or in a book the pairs that you are waiting on where you see this?
Yes, I would.
And you
I
say,
would.
okay,
I would also
know, check this in another 30 minutes, or, you know,
Mhm.
how do you keep track of all of the trades that you want to track over the next several hours?
So for your BM and SMs, it's easy because we can set an alert on TradingView, right? If you have a paid TradingView, you can set a lot of alerts. So when the line executes the trade, it'll alert you and you'll automatically know I'm in the trade. I need to pay attention, right? Okay. So that's the easy part. For these, yes, there some of these setups, especially off of the day, you're gonna have to come back and check. You're gonna write down what are the ones that are close to activating right now, right? And if you don't necessarily want to take the swing because of that, you can, because your trading window is small, you can go down and you can actually do the same strategy that we're doing, but you can look for scalps, right? You can look for scalps, which will probably emerge faster because you're on a smaller time frame, right? So if we were scalping, instead of going from the daily to the 30-minute, on the scalping for colors, you start on the 30-minute and you probably reduce down to like the 5-minute to look for an entry. All right, so you're going to confirm the trend on the 30, reduce down to the 5 and look for an entry. Okay. The other thing is, as we develop more of you guys that are proficient in recognizing not only just the SMs and the BMs, but also like Joe today. Joe just came back in the academy. We're excited to have him back. He's an educator on another platform, but he's here learning with us with colors, and he was able to identify a triangle offense setup. So 2 days back into the academy. Okay, so what happens is that as we have more of you guys, we'll be able to create a colors telegram for our team, right? And all we will be able to do is put in the information so that you guys, so that there's more eyeballs watching. So as an example, someone would be able to say, triangle offense, red triangle, 30-minute EUR GBP. And that would mean that you know that on the EUR GBP, right, that the 30-minute means that we started on the daily, it's selling. Now we're on the 30-minute time frame. There's a red triangle. We should look for the colors to line up. So that will help us, because Telegram can then notify you much more, right? As there's 3 or 4 of us that are calling those trade ideas throughout the day, you'll be able to quickly go in, line up your colors, and take your trade.
Oh, I really like that idea.
All right. BM has hit take profit. That one's moving, it's too close to my structure. Now, the reason why we can do that, guys, is because technically IM has prevented us from calling trades, right? And good reason, right? Good reason too. But we're not actually calling a trade at that point. Now we're just calling a triangle. And because you have colors, you're a color subscriber, now you can go in and look, and then you have to make the personal evaluation yourself whether or not you can take the trade. That has us in compliance, because all we're saying is, hey, listen, there's a potential of a trade for those of you who follow the color strategy, but you yourself has to go line up the colors and take the entry yourself. Does it make sense?
Mhm.
Potential trade idea. All right. So here we go. We got this coming out of the green, right? We lined it up, green, okay? All we do is go down to a 30-minute time frame. Okay. And look at all these trade opportunities that happened, okay? Look at all these trade opportunities that happened already. Look at that. You can see the trade moving up, all right? Moving up. Right here was a green, 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 straight down. There was your entry. Not bad. Not bad, guys. 120 pips, okay? This is not rocket science. We got this, colors, right? We got colors. This is the cheat sheet. This is the cheat code, in my opinion. All right, here we go. Here's a trade setup for you guys. Ready? Let's go ahead and mark it up. We're going to take it to the other. We're going to take it to the other thing. We're going to actually mark this one up. Here is an SM on CAD CHF. Go ahead and get CAD CHF out. We are currently in a downtrend because of our swing arrow there. All right, CAD CHF. I like this idea already. CAD CHF. We're going to take a SM. CAD CHF. Now, this is how we mark these up. This is what you'll be doing, which is simple. You can do this. This is what your aunt was doing today. All right. All right, folks. First requirement, right? Let's go ahead and move all this other stuff off for now. First requirement is to what? Box in the candle. Is it boxed up? It is. We have a what? We have a sell, right? So our entry on our pending order is going to be here. our stop loss is going to be here. And I'm going to give you the TP for the swing trade. And that way you can set both, right? And this is beautiful. I actually love this trade right here because of where it's going. Our TP is right at structure, right at structure. All right. So this is a beautiful trade. This is an SM for 77 pips. Okay. So what can you do? You can then look at this idea here and you can reduce down in time frame. We have an entry here, and as it's moving down towards this entry, you can begin to see where the candlesticks lie so that you can place your candle slightly above the most recent high, right? So let's say on this way down back towards our entry, it does something like this, right? Here's your entry. Your stop loss would be right there for a shorter stop loss so that you can use a higher lot size. Your first one would be 10 pips. Okay. You can then, if you want, you can have a second entry to ride the whole thing, but you're going to use the original stop loss. Okay. Does that make sense? So now you have two trades activated at the same time. You got to monitor both. The first one will more than likely, I can't promise anything, but more than likely hit your 10 pip TP. And now you're monitoring this one to see if it'll go all the way to take profit. Okay. If you're really crazy, you can stack. If you want to risk 2% of your account, then take 2 trades, 2 pending orders that both go to 10 pips. All right. If you really want to stack and you're willing to risk 2% of your account, take 2 pending orders that both go 10 pips. All right. Again, not licensed financial advisor. This is just what I'm telling you that I'm recommending that I'm going to set up for myself. All right. This trade right here, we've talked about this. This is NZDJPY. This has shown me a box that's proven, has been retested 5 times. Okay. This has been retested 5 times. NZD has a slight currency strength edge, which means it should push up a little more. And so what I would be looking for on NZD JPY, let's go ahead and look at this. NZD JPY on the daily. NZD JPY, I'm looking at a limit order. And I would probably look at a sell limit at that point. Sell limit. That's what I would be looking at. Okay. Sell limit. Your TP on that would be all the way down here. 83,647. So right below, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 days back. Right below here. So let me go ahead and get rid of all these because these have all hit take profit. You guys can see that we smashed take profit on these ones here. Let's just take those out. Take this one out. And right here is going to be our TP. Okay, so this is a nice sell limit for 327 pips. Let me go ahead and take us out to the weekly and see if I can see a spot where I would like to. I'm gonna put my stop loss probably in this area here. All right, that would be my stop loss. So if I'm looking at that from the weekly standpoint, here's what I'm looking at. I am looking at a nice move. Uh-oh. What's that ratio? I like that. Risk to reward 6,
Yeah.
1 to 6. How many of y'all like those ratios? Right. So now I have to calculate. This is now, okay, Carrie, here's where we're gonna go. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna measure that stop loss. It's 51 pips. So if I want to do a 1% risk, now what I do, I take my NZD JPY and I go back to my FX book, right? Position size calculator. I take NZD JPY. NZD JPY. I put whatever my account size, we were saying it was 3,000, 1%. And what I say it was 58 pips or whatever, 50, how many pips was it?
Yeah,
51 pips, 52 to make it easy, 52 pips. That's a 0.08 lot size. And that's a nice little profit. If that trade 0.08 knows how many pips. What we say our take profit was, it was 324 pips. So that's a nice little trade, right? So 100 pips would be $80. So $240+ on that trade, right? Not too bad. We're risking $30 for like $240. That's pretty good. Okay. Nice little trade. You guys got that set up? All right. Let's look at gold. Gold is always sexy. Okay, this is going to be the last one we're going to put in for right now because you guys are proficient. You guys are awesome at this. You guys are awesome at this. Okay. Now I have a BM on gold. Okay, I have a BM on gold. Right. Now I am here at this structure box, and this is solid. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. Because look, I have been in this downward trend for a while. And you know, we talked about trading with the trend and not against it. But look at that proven retest 14 times.
Wow.
This BM is a BM I want to take even though it's going against the trend. Does that make sense? Because I have a feeling that it's going to reject out of this box, okay? So here's our BM. We're going to go back here and we're going to take it on this one. This will be our last one we mark up. Hope you guys got some value tonight.
So much. The pip calculator, that was the sauce.
All right. Let's go back here. Look at the candle. Here's his candle here. Actually, I think his candle's off. I think his candles are off. Oh, there we go. All right, sorry, I didn't like his candle. All right, here we go. We're gonna mark it up right here. Okay, and now we're gonna put our entry here. Our entry. We're going to put our stop loss. Stop. We're going to put our take profit. Right here. And there is your trade idea.
Now, can you do this one more time with the position calculator for something like gold? 'Cause
So gold, um, uh, gold is, this is how you calculate pips on gold, okay? Every dollar, okay, every dollar that gold moves is 10 pips. So if I was at this is $1,718.52. If I move to $1,719.52, that is 10 pips. So that means every 10 cents on gold is 1 pip. Right? So in this case, watch this. I have moved, what's it, 133. So I moved $13. I moved $13, right? So that means I moved 130 pips. That's the stop loss. Okay? 130 pips. Good.
Is this
The position size calculator does have gold and silver. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it. So you can look it up. XOUSD, here it is. You can put it there too. Risk. You had to calculate how many pips it was, 130. And it'll tell you what your lot size should be. All right. There you go. So you can use that as well. So now we have this set up here. It's all set up. We're good to go. You have your pending order as a buy stop on gold. Okay, coming out of this structure area that has 14 retests. Now here's the thing. You could get a slight continuation down, because if you remember looking back here at colors, our box is a little bit below there and we have a pretty wide box, right? This is a huge box in width. So there's no telling that price might come back down in this area, okay? It's okay. We're looking for that BM though, all right? All right. And remember guys, look at how beautiful this really was. Look at how beautiful this really was. Do you guys see the Elliott wave all the way down? Can y'all see it? Y'all see, let's just make it easy. Let's go back to June 24th, that drop. Let's just go back and show you how we've been just slaying the market. All right, there we go. We'll just take it from here, straight down. This is simple. Here's my impulsive move. The market stopped for a breather. My sell stop went there. It pulled back. My stop loss went there. It activated. Market took a breather. It pulled back. My stop loss went there. You see it? Market came here, went down, right? And now we're here, looking for that pullback and that potential continuation, except we know right down here is structure, or structure. What is called that? Structure right there, which could push our price back the other way. All right. So that being said, that's going to lock up this session. Hopefully it made sense for you guys. Hopefully you guys got a couple trades out of it, right? Hopefully we're going to master that position size calculator so that we can take those trades. If you want,